Okay, stop whatever you are doing right now, because Usher just got checked by his own protege in front of everyone. Now look, on the surface, this looks like two guys who fell out, a mentor and his student who just stopped getting along. That is the story most people are going with. But what if the reason Justin has been cutting Usher off, cutting all of them off, goes way deeper than a bad business deal? And what does this all have to do with Diddy, who is rotting in a jail cell?
March 15th, 2026, the Oscars. And once the main show ends, the real party begins. Beyoncé and Jay-Z host their exclusive afterparty at Chateau Marmont in West Hollywood. No phones allowed. Strict guest list. We're talking Taylor Swift, Timothée Chalamet, Michael B., Jordan, Kylie Jenner, Emma Stone. A full A-list crowd. This isn't the kind of place where people usually cause a scene. But according to reports, something unexpected happened. For the first time in years, Justin Bieber and Usher were in the same room, and multiple outlets later reported that there was some kind of tense interaction. So what actually happened? Here's what's been reported. 4 days after the Oscars, TMZ published a story claiming that Justin Bieber and Usher had a heated exchange at the afterparty. According to sources mentioned in those reports, Usher approached Justin with noticeable intensity, and the two were said to have a tense verbal interaction. Because phones weren't allowed inside, there's no video, so everything is based on secondhand accounts. And this is where the story starts to split. Some reports suggested things nearly became physical. Others, particularly sources closer to Justin, claimed there was no physical altercation at all, just a brief verbal disagreement. Later, the gossip account Doomwash shared a different version, suggesting the situation may have been exaggerated and that Justin simply chose not to engage in conversation. Justin's team also responded, stating clearly that there was no physical altercation. However, they did not fully deny that an interaction took place, only that it did not become physical. As for Usher, he hasn't made any public statement about the situation. So at this point, what we have are multiple versions of the same night, some more intense than others, but no confirmed footage and no single verified account of exactly what happened.
They haven't really been seeing eye to eye, and they haven't been seen publicly since around 2022. And now this situation just added a little bit more fuel to the conversation. Now, according to different reports from different news outlets such as TMZ and Entertainment Weekly, the two were both at Beyonce and Jay-Z's exclusive Oscars after party at Chateau Marmont.
How did the relationship reach this point? To understand why this moment got so much attention, you have to rewind a bit. In February 2024, Usher headlined the Super Bowl halftime show, one of the biggest stages in music. Reports at the time suggested that he invited Justin Bieber to join him for a performance. However, Justin did not appear in the show, and according to those same reports, he chose to decline the invitation.
I think that it might have been the fact that he was just, wanting to tell a different story right now. And I understand that. But we did have a brief conversation and, we're going to do something else in the future. But there's no love lost or anything like that. I think that it's a lot of pressure for the Super Bowl, obviously, for me to put together a show. So I reached out to everybody. Justin wasn't the only person that I actually spoke to about doing the Super Bowl. But the moment was maybe for later.
Now, around that time, Usher addressed the situation in an interview on The Breakfast Club. He said, "No love lost or anything like that. We're going to do something else in the future." At the time, it sounded supportive, like a mentor keeping things positive publicly. But then in 2025, things appeared to shift. Justin Bieber reportedly unfollowed several people connected to his professional circle on social media, including Scooter Braun and business associates. At some point during that period, fans also noticed that Usher was no longer being followed. There was no public explanation, which led to speculation online. It's also worth noting that individuals like Lou Taylor and her company TriStar have been discussed in broader industry conversations, including past public controversies involving other artists such as Britney Spears. However, details around these situations are complex and should be approached carefully, as not all claims are confirmed. Additionally, some online reports and rumors have suggested financial disagreements between Justin and people in his circle over the years. These claims have circulated widely, but there has been no clear, verified public confirmation detailing specific disputes. Now, when people discuss the history between Usher and Justin, they often bring up how early their connection started. Usher has spoken in interviews about being introduced to the music industry at a young age, including spending time around Sean Combs, also known as Diddy. Years later, Usher played a role in helping introduce a young Justin Bieber to the industry as well. There are also old interview clips and media appearances that get referenced online when people talk about this period. However, many of those clips are often taken out of context or interpreted differently depending on the source. Because of that, it's important to separate confirmed information from speculation, especially when discussing serious topics involving real people.
Just a few moments before the viral exchange, Diddy was seen presenting the teen with a convertible. Many online have branded the video as, quote, creepy, including internet personality Luke Brodkowski, who asked, where the hell are the parents here? The resurfaced videos came just hours after internet sleuths uncovered an interview Usher did with shock jock Howard Stern back in 2016, in which he admitted he saw, quote, very curious things at Diddy's mansion when he was sent to live with him at the age of just 14.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was.
Now, this is where the story took another turn, what many online started calling the bombshell moment. And it's important to be clear here. What you're about to hear is an allegation. It has not been proven in court, and it should be understood in that context. Jaguar Wright, who has publicly criticized the music industry in the past, appeared in an interview with Real Life Productions on YouTube and made claims that quickly gained attention online. In that interview, she alleged that Usher once had a form of legal guardianship over Justin Bieber and that this responsibility was temporarily handed over to Sean Combs for a short period of time. She further claimed that there had been efforts to gain access to Justin earlier and that there were disagreements behind the scenes about it. According to her version of events, Usher stepped in with the intention of guiding and protecting Justin, but still allowed that access to happen. She also raised a question that has been widely repeated online about why certain situations might be treated differently depending on who is involved. To be clear, these are Jaguar Wright's claims. There has been no public confirmation, no legal ruling supporting them, and Usher has not publicly responded to these specific statements. However, the reason this interview gained so much attention is because it added to ongoing conversations and speculation already circulating online. And at the center of it all is the same thing: questions, without clear, verified answers.
Although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve.
So, when you look at everything together, the public moments, the reports, the claims, and the silence, it becomes clear that this story is not as simple as it first seemed. Some parts are confirmed, others are still just allegations, and a lot of it sits somewhere in between. What we do know is that Justin Bieber and Usher have a long history, one that started early and evolved over time. But where things stand today is something only they truly understand. At the same time, conversations around Sean Combs and the wider industry have added more attention and more questions, many of which still don't have clear answers. So for now, the situation remains exactly that, a mix of facts, speculation, and unanswered questions. And until something is clearly confirmed, everything should be taken with caution. But one thing is certain, people are watching closely, and this story is far from over.
Also very true. Very true. I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues. This is something that I've struggled with. It keeps on there we go. This is something that I've struggled with in the past. I still struggle with it, actually. And been very open about mental health issues cause just know it's okay not to be okay. You know, I think society makes it feel like we all gotta have it together, you know what I mean?
And part of healing, real healing, sometimes means setting boundaries with people or situations that remind you of difficult parts of your past. That doesn't always come across the right way to others, but Sometimes it's not about being polite. It's about protecting your peace. At the end of the day, Justin Bieber has grown up in the public eye, and like anyone else, he has the right to choose who he keeps in his life. So the real question becomes, is stepping back from certain connections disrespectful, or is it simply someone prioritizing their well-being? That's something only he truly knows. As for Usher, whether he ever addresses any of this publicly or chooses to remain private is entirely up to him. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you believe setting boundaries like this is the right move, or should situations like this be handled differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. See you in the next one.